So, hello. As Sean has said, I'm Dan. I am one of the Picture Programme participants, but I also wear a few other hats as well. And I'm here to talk to you about eco-friendliness and whether green IT is just all hippie crap, I think was my phrasing, or whether there's some useful business case for it. So first off, the hats that I wear, I am at the moment an MSP owner. I set my MSP up in 2005, been running for the last 20 years, but I'm gradually working on my exit. That's my office and team photo from a little while ago. There's 25 of us working from Stafford. If you use the Evolved Peer Group Sleek methodology, then we're running Sleek OML 3.4, 2.6 million revenue. We do what you'd expect: managed services, security, and recent comms, right? I'm also, as I have said on the previous slide, an energy nerd. I am a tech director of a pump storage hydroelectric facility out in Cornwall and a shareholder of an electric car charger network in the Midlands. I just like things to do with electrics. I got started in stage and lighting. That was where it all began. And what I've been introduced about by Sean was PC Powersave, which is, as I've been making the gentle transition from MSP owner to evil vendor here to send me shit. But don't worry, there is not much on that. That will come up, but it's not the big point of this presentation. So, green IT, why would an MSP care? In preparation for this, I interviewed 14 MSPs who had a lot of green credentials on their website. They might have been B Corp, they might have been raving about something in the press. But I interviewed a lot of MSPs and I asked them, what is it you care about when it comes to green IT? And here are the top few reasons. First one, it was one of their values. They care anyway, they're passionate people, it just mattered to them. And that's probably, if you've heard talks on environmentalism or environmental impact, you've probably heard a talk from someone who was passionate about it. They thought they could improve their business by implementing some eco-credentials. Now, that is most certainly the case. There's a vague screenshot of a Deloitte study. There's too much data to bother reading, but one of the happy numbers from it. 71-72% of Gen Z care very much about your environmental credentials when choosing to apply for a job in your company. That's one of the takeaways. It's good PR. Good PR for your company if you do something green, if you do something eco-friendly. People like it, like seeing it in the paper. Newspapers love a good story, and that can lead to customers. That actually has been one of the best ways we've been getting customers, has just been regular press releases through a PR company, and getting customers and ISPs is a pretty nightmare sometimes. So, you may have seen this in the hotel. That's been lingering around all the corridors. Well, there they are. They're shouting about their sustainability initiatives in this very hotel. It looks good. It makes you look ethical. Well, say it makes you look ethical. If you're ethical, you should shout about it. Good PR can help you generate more customers. It's been a great way for us. And sometimes, if you're trying to work with companies, they have this minimum bar to hit. So you may find in tender documentation, you absolutely have to have some, maybe ISO 14001, if you're trying to work with government, public sector, MOD, NHS, or even some just large organisations that may demand this. Or it could turn out that they have an environmental officer internally, and there was a case last year, I think, where AstraZeneca was considering ditching Zoom because Zoom didn't hit their eco-credentials. That's a massive contract to just can, just because of the eco-credentials, because they made a public commitment. So that is where a lot of things are driven from, the large organisations, the public sector. Cybersecurity, we're all probably considering ISO 27001 at some point. A lot of businesses implemented ISO 9001 because they were forced to by companies higher on the supply chain to. It will be the same with environmental friendly policies and practices. But finally, that one. Saving money and making money. That is one of the biggest reasons why companies may consider eco-friendliness. And that's going to be the one I'm going to be focusing on the most today, is saving money with green credits and making money out of it by selling your money-saving solutions. See someone preparing for photos, so I'll hold for a second. I will make this presentation available, assuming the camera doesn't crap out. I'll make the video available on the company YouTube channel as well, so everything will be available. So we as an industry have been accidentally eco-friendly for a long time. Some of the things we do have accidentally been green. I'll give you a couple of examples. Going paperless, we did not choose to have less printers because we wanted to be more environmentally friendly. It was all sorts of reasons, like having electronic contracts meant you'd lose them less. Having an automated form filled in gets submitted straight into your CRM. CRM is less labour and it's more efficient. There's less printers to fix, so there's less of that to be done. But the accident was there's less waste. You don't need as much printer paper, you don't need to get through as much ink, you don't need to manufacture as many printers, less energy usage. RMM, when we implemented that, we didn't say we're implementing RMM to cut down on driving. That would be a horrifying sales pitch. We did it because we wanted to do more tickets per hour and more efficient for the help desk. Virtualization. Again, we now have, instead of having 5 or 6 servers in a customer, you've got one physical one that's using a higher CPU, using a little bit more power on one server. But it's better to have one server running on 300 watts than 5 servers running on 200 watts each. Finally, when we're moving on-prem to the cloud, migrating to the cloud is pretty good for the environment because, among other things, let's take VoIP, for example. You now don't have this big plastic box phone system sitting in the corner of the office in every single office in the land. You've got a desk phone connected to a cloud-based server. Having 1 million mailboxes on 365 is far more eco-friendly than 10,000 Microsoft Exchange servers. So, all of that leads me to 8 little stories that I gathered from other MSPs. Some of these are my stories, some of these are from other companies. Number 1, B Corp. I'm sure some of you have heard of this, you may have seen that logo. A B Corporation, as far as their website is concerned, it is a for-profit corporation like us, certified for societal impact by B Lab, which is a global non-profit, and it measures your societal and environmental performance. So essentially I like to see it as they've come up with a KPI for ethics or goodness. There are just over 8,000 certified B corporations in the world, just over 3,000 in the UK, about 1,000 in France, and about 1,000 in Canada. And I haven't seen any listed as a massive statistic, but about half of them are in Europe. So these are some of the questions they ask you. I don't recommend reading them all, but just some highlights here. What percentage of the company is owned by your employees, not your founders or execs? How do you verify your product improves the impact of your client organisation? What else is good here? What percentage of management is from underrepresented populations? Does your company monitor and record its waste reduction? So with all of the questions of which they've got, I think it's like 150 of them. It's very like Sleek. Do any of you do Sleek? Sleek, you nods. Cool. So with Sleek, they'll give you an A, B, C, or D answer, and you know which one's the good one and which one's the bad one. You know that when they say, do you charge for scoping projects? You say, no, we don't. Or, no, we hope it'll be baked into winning the project. Or, yeah, we charge them, but we discount it if they purchase. So you get that kind of thing in Sleek. You get that kind of thing in the B Corp as well. And some of the companies I spoke to said that the reason they went for B Corp wasn't to get new customers, but it demonstrated all the different things they could do in their organisation to make them better in various ways. On my EOS 3-year plan in my MSP, I have a line that says, be environmentally good. That's the best we could come up with for the terminology. B Corp gives you a target. We also have in our EOS, say, accomplish an OML with Sleek of 3.7 by 2027, I think it is. That's a numeric target, much easier to hit. B Corp does that for ethics. One of the B Corps I spoke to said half of their customers are B Corp customers now, half of them. And that's because they've been liaising and dealing with other B Corps for such a long time, helping get through this process with them. I think like many things, like Chamber of Commerce membership or membership to the Vistage groups, you get out of it what you put into it. They were helping the community a lot, so they ended up bonding with a lot of the people in their community and turning them into customers. But the sort of customers they got were B Corp customers who cared about the environment, yes, but they were expecting their IT company to charge a higher price because their IT company was also B Corp. That's what they told me. Which I basically do that. That's the first one. Second one, recycling, refurbishment, and remanufacturing. I'm sure we're all familiar with refurbishing. I won't go into refurbished PCs, but it's quite nice, refurbishment. We as an MSP won't work with refurbs, it's just one of our rules now. Recycling though, every time we get computers in, we don't send them to e-waste, we work with a local charity who handles the secure erasure, which is fantastic, and they try and provide the machines to underrepresented areas, charities, local businesses, etc. It's something nice to do, and it's good PR, and it makes sure that the machines don't go to waste. So that's quite helpful. Remanufacturing, though, that's something that I wasn't too familiar with until a year or so ago, and since then I've been quite excited about it. There is a company, there are a few companies that do it, but there's a company, a website and software, Circular Computing, and they're a remanufacturer of computer hardware. It's mainly HP, Dell, and Lenovo. They will take these machines back, they will strip them down, and they will rebuild them in accordance with BS 8887, which states that you must return a used product to at least its original performance with a warranty that is equivalent to or better than new. So essentially, if you buy one of these remanufactured laptops, the price is about 2/3 of what a normal price machine would be. But they've relasered the keys, that's what that's supposed of. They've resprayed the plastics. They've replaced broken bits, replaced broken components. Likely, if the disk's bad, they'll have replaced the whole disk. Still has environmental emissions, but oh my god, way less than making it new. And it's cheaper than a new laptop, and it is way better than a refurb. The failure rate is 3%. That's when it arrives at your office, and our industry average is about 1.8 to 2.2%. So that's quite nice as well. The warranty generally is enough to satisfy most customers. We never would consider refurbs in our MSP, but we're looking into it right now with remanufacturing. Because we've got a customer who needs 300 or 400 new machines by October, to get to a certain deadline, and they've got some budgetary concerns because 300 new machines, they've already replaced 600. This may well be the answer. This is one we're pitching. This one's just a bit of a fun one. Story 3. Perception. That is a shitty looking box. We got that in our office through the post and thought, that looks pretty crap. They stuck a label on it, and suddenly it seemed a little more forgivable. As an MSP, we're always shipping laptops, and we happen to use second-hand boxes. They don't look as horrifying as that one, but it was a nice little touch that they simply shouted about the nice thing they were doing. They save money with the boxes, and it actually looks quite good. The public perception is improved. I thought that was quite fun. Useless phones can be an RM opportunity. We've been selling mobile phones for the last year or so, and ongoing SIM contracts as well to some of our customers. They started sending the old phones back in from their previous company, and lots of them were like that. We couldn't factory reset them. They were completely useless again. I've spoken to some recycling companies who have rubble sacks full to the brim of phones that are all in that state because they were previously registered. We've tried the fancy stuff and reformatted them, it just didn't work. So, working with machines like this, we said to the customer, you're wasting a lot of money on all these phones. It's bad for the world. Why don't you buy our RMM software? So now every phone that they buy comes with a connection to RMM. So that's an additional revenue stream, just by cutting down on e-waste. This was a fun little story about data cleanups. It's a chargeable service that they did as VCIOs. They sat down with stakeholders and said, we're going to look through your server and reorganize it. We're going to delete all the old files that are duplicates, and we're going to archive off everything else. And this company, they said to me that 25% of the data on the server, they were able to just delete straight off because it was just duplicates or 10 years old. A bunch of it, though, they archived off to, I think it was Amazon Glacier or some, no, it wasn't Amazon, because this company hated Amazon. they archived it off to a cold store, somewhere which is not checked all the time. And in doing so, they managed to save some energy, cutting down on daily AV scans. There's less regular backups taking place, there's less syncing with the users, and there's less indexing for the search function. But it's an interesting one. I don't know how helpful it is to the environment. It will save energy, yes. But for them, they got themselves a ton of chargeable day rate work out of it. They say every single one of their customers has purchased this service from them because they framed it from an environmental and convenience perspective. If they just phrased it as a convenience perspective, then they'd be like my business, which has done it to about 5% of our customers. Okay, some stuff on the price of energy now. So, in the UK, we measure energy consumption in kilowatt hours. So you take the number of watts of usage, multiply the hours it's on. Average desktop is 1 to 200 watts, and laptop is about 40 to 80. The domestic price cap is 35. The commercial price cap, I have not seen a commercial price cap. The highest I've seen a business paying so far is 70 pence per kilowatt. That's pretty bonkers, and that's mainly been since about 2021. So I've been using this in my sales pitches. So here's story number 6. The scenario: the customer was hesitating to upgrade a bunch of PCs. So I looked at them. They were a bit crap, and they were drawing 190 watts apiece. They were older refurbs. They were still okay for the OS, but they were older. 190 watts multiplied by working hours in the day, multiplied by price of energy, multiplied by the course of a month, it's £8. About £8 a month to keep that machine running. Plus, a lot of people don't bother switching their machine off after hours anyway. But new machines that we were trying to sell them, 50 watts, £2 a month to run that. Now, I ran the new machine I was proposing, £600 through a Grenke lease calculator, 5 years, 6% interest, came to £12. Half this little mini desktop, which I think was a Nook, was subsidised by the energy saving. And if we didn't go through Grenke and they just paid for it, that would have been £10 a month, £600 over 60 months, right? So £10 a month amortised cost. So 60% of the cost would have been covered by saving in energy. That was a much easier sell after that. Same story with the server, cloud migration. The customer gave me this delightful tidbit. Our 5-year-old servers were very expensive. We hardly use them. Surely they've got another decade left in them. And I have to tell my story of a server isn't like a brake disc. It doesn't matter that you didn't use it a lot. It's more like a hamster. If it's 5 years old, you shouldn't base your business upon its continual survival. So they were using on-prem, and they were hesitant for our proposed 365 Business Premium. 20 users, £20 a month, that would have been £400 a month for the package that they needed to be on. So I looked at their server. They had originally intentions of being a little bigger company than they actually ended up being, and so they had 2 servers and a SAN. And according to their UPS digital display, they were drawing 900 watts of power. 900 watts at 24 hours a day is 21.6 kilowatt hours a day. Multiplied by 30 days is 640 kilowatt hours a month. Multiplied by the price of energy is 350 cents. So to go for 365 Business Premium was £44 difference. That's what we're talking about. And that is before I even mentioned, if you want us to look after your servers, I'm going to charge you support and backup for those as well. That was a much easier sell, once I'd said that. Final story, and a convenient segue into that thing what I sell. Machine optimization. I did a little script. Oh yeah, the photo, our office is an old university. And you can see stickers everywhere from where they were trying to save money and failing miserably, and this is quite apt to this one. I ran a script on 1,000 machines that we look after. Over 300 of them had not been switched off for more than about 3 months, or at least they've been rebooted, but their average uptime was, over the last 3 months, was about 2.99 months. These people don't switch their machines off. More than 700 of them had significant time on and unused, i.e. they left it on 24/7, at least 8 days a month. And on 900 or so of them, they still on default power settings. Now, I always change my power settings when I get a new machine. The first thing I do is say, when you close the laptop lid, don't turn off. It's just the first thing I set. Most of the end users that we looked after didn't bother. I understand that some RMM tools do that as standard, but most of our customers are still on all the bog standard settings. So this is where the PC Powersave product that Sean introduced me as came from. The power saving product installed on the machine, we save £500 a month on an 80 computer network with this tool. 500 quid a month. So I don't know how many machines we look after in this room, but if you make that kind of saving on 80 machines, there is a significant amount of wasted revenue going into energy that businesses just do not need to spend. So this is where a little widget I made a long time ago called PC Powersave was born. So I'll give you the headlines on it for the last 5 minutes. What is it? It is a little SaaS app that installs in the system tray, and it only does 2 things. It analyzes the crap out of the computer. It will look at every component in there, all the software that's installed, average uptime over the last year, average idle time. It'll take all that data together, smush it together, analyze it, and it will figure out how much energy each computer uses, how much CO2 each computer uses, and how much money it uses. And then we'll also figure out how much it's wasting. So this is one of our customers, 13 computer network, spending £250 a month on energy. They're wasting 162. Now the definition of waste is how many times computers were left switched on when they've been idle for more than 6 hours. And how much energy they were wasting because they hadn't configured their power plant properly. The reason why average save cost is 0 is because this is a screenshot and this customer hasn't bought it yet. They're in free mode, which is where we're diagnosing how much they're wasting. But when we show them this data at the next QBR, they will be purchasing it. So the average save cost that I'm expecting to get for this customer, 30 computer network, is £140 to £150 is what I'm expecting to save them. And as an MSP, I'll be charging them £1.50 per license, per computer. So they get to pay me as an MSP money whilst saving more themselves, which is quite nice. Next is a little bit of a story which Sean's already told. Picture. So, as Sean mentioned, he's the, for those who arrived a little later, he's the chap who introduced me from ConnectWise. The program got me a stand at IT Nation in Orlando, which was pretty cool. There's myself and some colleagues promoting energy efficiency as a service, because we felt there weren't enough things in the world with as a service written at the end. Promoted this and ultimately took second place in it. It was great to have just a country where the energy price is so incredibly low still saw the value in it, which is wonderful. Their energy price in the States is between 7 and 14 cents per kilowatt, which is just so low. But the thing I'm after is, if you're interested in helping, there is a thing. I've made an introductory offer for anyone who is interested in working with me. That will simply take you to a page which explains the price and explains and has a link to my Calendly. It doesn't sign you up to some crazy newsletter, it just signs you up to a meeting with me. So the offer is, we're currently selling it for £1 per license per month, which I don't advise, that's the rubbish price. The better price is £295 for 1,000 seats, which is far more appropriate. So I hope this will be the price where you're saving. You should be able to save your customers on a desktop between 2 and 20. It's such a wide range because people use their machines so differently. But £2 and £20 a month for a machine. This laptop, for example, after this presentation, I will close the lid, turn it off, and it will not be turned on again until I get back on the train. This is only used when I need it. That would not be appropriate for the product. But any machine that's sat on a desk plugged in, that most certainly would be appropriate, because if someone has a meeting at the end of the working day, if someone If someone has a meeting at 3 o'clock, they're not going to come back to their desk to turn it off. Most of the time, we as MSPs have been telling people to leave their computers on so we can run updates. The software, by the way, is compatible with that. You can tell it to stay on, not shut itself down when we're trying to work on it. We have a wrapping up slide, just telling you what I told you. Firstly, you're probably already doing some eco-friendly stuff in your business without realizing it, and it would be good to shout about that. If you are doing something good, promote it. Talk to a PR company. That's been the most effective way of getting new business for our MSP. But don't just shout about it to the public, shout about it with your peers. Most of the ideas today came from other MSPs. I'm trying to collect more. I will gradually put them on the website over time. So please do send me anything if you've got good stories, and I will try and share it at presentations like this. Energy awareness is very, very helpful in sales. If you have some knowledge of how the energy prices in that area are affecting that customer, you can use those to bolster your sales and make yourself look like a bit of a hero to the customer. So my conclusion is energy friendliness can indeed be good for business. That's all my stuff. I've got the website, got my email address there, because I think the Wi-Fi might be a bit problematic down here if you try to scan the QR and didn't succeed. But that's all the info. I will make this presentation available online soon. I will also put the video I've recorded, because the camera does look like it's behaving itself still. I'll put that on PC Powersave's YouTube channel as well. But that's it, I'm done. Thank you very much.